In London, Sarah, Leo, and Brad check into a luxurious, exclusive hotel. The concierge shows Sarah to the Victoria room, where she shows her items that the staff have bought for her based on the approximate sizes Brad gave them. The bed is covered in bags from high-end designer shops. Sarah smiles in delight and collapses on the bed. Kicking off her shoes, she examines her loot. Back at Yogi's, Rudy is calling around to law firms again, looking for a job. Prince points out that they have customers waiting for service. He's unimpressed when Rudy puts him off. Rudy starts to ask him for a loan, but Prince discourages that option emphatically. He says he'll give Rudy any shifts he needs to get by. But borrowing money from him is not an option. At Bruiser's office, they're interviewing new associates. They all suck. Once they're gone, Deck asks Bruiser if she misses Rudy yet. She's looking over the deposition list, shocked at how many people are on it. Deck argues for bringing Rudy back, because she actually believes everything Rudy does. Trying to deflect, Bruiser wonders who Bernie Manfred, the next person up for deposition, is. Deck identifies him as the head of quality control, who fired Jackie Lemonsisk. Bruiser feels like that's important, but is committed to settling the case. In London, Sarah is dazzled by the dinner service where they serve what Killy calls the best soufflé success outside of Paris. Fun fact, soufflé success is a cheese soufflé served in warm double cream and topped with Gruyere cheese. More fun fact, it was made famous by a London restaurant. He toasts Sarah as their little lion, lauding her performance in court. Brad and Leo raise their glasses, and they all drink, with Sarah and Brad making goo-goo eyes at each other over the bubbles. As they dig in, Brad mentions that Rudy's been calling around, looking for work. This upsets Sarah, and Leo tries to distract her by asking about her plans for the future. When she expresses a desire to make partner at Tinley Britt, he gives her this advice. Comes a time in every career when you have to ask yourself, do I want to be staff or management? And then every choice you make going forward has to be in service of that decision. When asked what her decision is, Sarah replies by quoting the first line of Charles Dickens's David Copperfield. This tickles Keely. Leo identifies the quote. Brad smiles silently and takes another drink. Rudy visits his mom, Mary, who gives him some tough love advice on how to get back on his feet. She points out that he's instinctively come to sit in John's room to lick his wounds, even though he said he's there to see her. Changing tactics, she sides with Bruiser in calling him undisciplined. As evidence, she reminds him that he's lost both law career positions he's held so far because he couldn't resist running his mouth. Rudy figures that John would have been too smart to lose a job by talking too much. Mary tells him his name is Rudy, not John, and advises Rudy to live his own life, not John's. Rudy bridles at her accusatory tone and asks her why she's being so hard on him. She pauses and says that John wasn't better. He was John. Rudy is Rudy, and Rudy's here. John isn't. She says that they've kept John's room as a shrine to avoid visiting the cemetery where he's buried, so they don't have to accept that he's gone.